All right, YouTube, we're jumping into our UK news. UK news, just to catch up on this brand new phenomenon in UK politics where no matter how much you prove Brexit was wrong, Brexit is not helping people, the economy is worse, no matter how many facts you have, anything, that Brexit was good, Brexit's helping people, the economy's never been better. Apparently this American-style right-wing politics, it's new. The right wing used to acknowledge their faults to a certain extent in the UK. Is that really true? Must have been a long time ago, because Boris Johnson's basically taking the page right from the right-wing American Republicans, which is lie, gaslight, project. Everything the left says about us is manufactured. They don't have anything to back it up. It's a witch hunt. You got the Talk TV saying, "Oh, all this stuff against Boris Johnson, it's a witch hunt. It's a witch hunt." Delegitimizing the rule of law. So here's Sunak's bizarre response to grilling over EU single market. So no, getting out of the single market was a good thing, guys. It was a really good thing. You're just a Ramoner. Big props to my boy Maximilian Robespierre. Make sure you like and subscribe. Really great content, indie content creator on UK news, following this UK stuff and making it understandable for Yanks like me.
Hi guys, Angus McNeil from the SNP.
Yes, Sunak himself was a Remainer. Hilarious.
At the liaison committee on Tuesday. Now, the Prime Minister was asked why it was such a great thing for Northern Ireland to be in the single market, but not the rest of the United Kingdom. Rishi Sunak started waffling on about the Good Friday Agreement and Northern Ireland's unique position, but spoke as if the UK...
So it makes perfect sense for Northern Ireland to be part of the single market, but it made no sense for Britain.
Had never been in the single market, and Northern Ireland's joining of it had just happened. Is he really that unhinged? Have a listen.
When it comes to Northern Ireland, you're a fan of the single market now. When did you take the road to Damascus on that very issue?
No, I think what I was referring to, and actually, as I say, I'm sad that we're having this conversation again, because I think what I was very clearly referring to is the unique status of Northern Ireland in the United Kingdom, because it's the only part of the United Kingdom that shares a land border with a member of the EU, and also is a part of our country that has had a history of troubles, and the balance of the Belfast Good Friday Agreement is incredibly important to ensuring stability and peace in Northern Ireland, and it was decided by everybody that we shouldn't have a hard border on the island of Ireland, and that's why Northern Ireland has a special and unique status inside the United Kingdom.
Now, I get the impression, and I hope I'm wrong, when I think about this, and please tell me in the comment section if I am wrong, but I get the impression that Rishi Sunak doesn't actually understand.
Doesn't get it.
And I feel stupid saying this. He doesn't actually understand that the UK used to be a member of the single market. And something happened. It left. But part of it remained. Northern Ireland remained in the single market for goods. And that Rishi Sunak, and he sounds like a bot when he's talking.
He really does. Have you seen how Rishi Sunak, like, he does like advertisements and stuff? He's so robotic, super like uncomfortable.
He sounds like one of these chatbots that hasn't received enough information and is just pumping out phrase after phrase,
yeah,
because it's using whatever information
points
it can find, but it's lacking information. That's the impression I get from him, that he doesn't actually understand that the UK used to be a member of the single market. Northern Ireland remained part of that single market because of its unique status, which is correct. But does he not understand that Great Britain used to be a member, and the reason that businesses are in trouble at the moment in part, is because it's no longer a member. You know, this is not some backbencher or some weird Brexiteer. This is the former Chancellor and the current Prime Minister. And I get this impression that he doesn't actually understand that the UK used to be a member of the European Union. I hope I'm wrong, but he doesn't sound like he's lying. He sounds like he actually believes that.
That I think everyone acknowledges, and actually
Absolutely,
trying to make
Chad
political
Mary.
points about that, I don't think it's appropriate, and I think it's very clear that Northern Ireland is different in that regard, and it's right that we respect the Belfast Good Friday Agreement and the balance that is required to make sure that the agreement works properly.
Well, before your 180-degree turn on the single market, it is important because you know, and you will have certainly known as
Very much
Chancellor,
so,
that
Zio.
it's a 4% or 5% damage to GDP is this choice for the UK to leave the single market and the customs union. It is affecting people on the day-to-day. It's affecting their costs of living. Prime Minister, if it's okay for Northern Ireland, and you say it's got a border with the European market, what about the south of England? It's 20 miles away by ferry. It's not far away by ferry. Companies come to me in trade and they tell me that it would be far better for them to be in the European market, single market, than the situation they currently have. It's paperwork central.
Again, what I said previously, Northern Ireland, I think it's probably not to recognise the unique and special status of Northern Ireland inside the United Kingdom.
They are. I'm looking at the volume, and they're talking very, very quietly. I'm trying to adjust the volume as best I can. Sorry about that.
Because of the history of what's happened in that part of our country, which we've had an appropriate discussion on the anniversary of the Belfast Good Friday Agreement, which is a good reminder of the delicate situation in Northern Ireland, and it's right that we treat that situation with the consideration that it deserves.
Really, I'm struggling to understand his logic.
That was like a non sequitur. If you're not keeping up to his word salad, but it's like he was responding to a question that wasn't asked.
Is he trying to suggest that, well, because we left, well, we have to make do? Is this what he's trying to sell to the public? Like, I don't believe he's lying.
What happened to these benefits?
I don't think he's trying to mislead the committee here. I actually think he believes what he's saying, and he doesn't actually understand that the United Kingdom used to be a member, and there were benefits of being a member. It's no longer a member, only part of the UK is a member, but England, Scotland and Wales can't be in the single market for some reason. That it's completely alien to him, the idea that England, Scotland and Wales could be in the single market. Northern Ireland is in because of its unique position, and he's correct when he says a unique position. Northern Ireland is a particular case here. But is it impossible for Rishi Sunak to connect the dots here and say, oh,
I mean, that's the eternal question. We're going to move on from this video. He's kind of boring me a little bit, but that's the eternal question. Are they true believers? Do they believe the bullshit that they're spewing, or are they just cynical nihilists? And I think it's a combination. They're opportunists and they're people that are true believers, like Kwasi Kwarteng. I think he's a true believer of what he's putting forth as a solution. So here's the other clip here. Another one from All Shorts, who do these really strange borders around these videos. So I apologize for that. But Barry Gardiner, MP, shames Theresa Coffey for not knowing her job and not doing her job repeatedly. So, more examples of the right wing selectively doing the thing, not following through on their obligations, selectively doing things that, will benefit them politically, and then conveniently ignoring the things that they don't like. Usual bullshit.
Are you content that post-pandemic profit levels are 97% higher than they were pre-pandemic, and that has arisen solely legitimately? Or do you agree with John Allen that excess profiteering is actually going on?
Well, I'm not. I haven't observed John Allen. I'm conscious of the question you've asked.
So if you don't know what's going on, there was a sting. Apparently, MPs for Parliament, they're allowed to moonlight. They can just have other jobs because they just have all the time in the world. I guess you know, leading people in your country. You just have a bunch of extra time to do all these extra jobs. Oh, thank you. They could just moonlight. They could just take a salary from another company, and that's totally legal. So there was this sting operation where they pretended to be from a Taiwanese, I think, interest group, and they were just basically doing job interviews with, you know, these politicians and saying, okay, well, how much money, you know, how much to buy you, how much to just to buy you outright, like one would buy a fucking, you know, product. And some of these guys, without hesitation, oh, you know, 60,000 a month, or, oh, you know, 50,000, I'm cheap, you know, 40,000, we can work it out. To do what? Oh, I guess to make a couple speeches or something. They don't even talk about in these interviews. If you listen to them, they don't even talk about, like, well, what am I going to actually do? I think it is brought up in a couple of them, but it's all super vague. It's all understood that you're just going to get a fucking, you know, massive chunk of change for doing jack shit. The reason is that, okay, well, when our interests are presented, you're going to have our back in the halls of government. It's literally corruption. What is the difference between taking a job where you're not where it's totally ridiculous and you're not expected to actually work, and you're just going to take the money and then listen to what this interest group says and represent them in government? What's the difference between that and taking a big sack of fucking money with a dollar sign written on it? That's just a straight up bribe. What is the difference? What is the fucking difference? So that's what this woman is responding to. Let's just start it over here.
Are you content that post-pandemic profit levels are 97% higher than they were pre-pandemic, and that has arisen solely legitimately? Or do you agree with John Allen that excess profiteering is actually going on?
Well, I'm not. I haven't observed John Allen. I'm conscious of the question you've asked. I don't know if you've written to Tesco.
Classic.
I'm very happy. I will write to Tesco.
No, John Allen said specifically that Tesco were not doing it, but that he believed that other supermarkets in the market were doing it.
Okay. Did he give
I'm
any
sorry.
evidence?
Okay, I'm completely wrong here. I'm getting my framing completely wrong. They're not talking about the moonlighting scandal. They're talking about the excess profiteering that grocery stores were doing. So, you know, they raised their prices because of inflation, but then they raised them even more. And how much of that percentage is, you know, profiteering versus a necessary price hike? That's what they're talking about. Sorry about that.
I've given...
I'm a bit surprised.
Well, I've given you the evidence. Laura Kuenssberg gave the evidence to John Allen. And I'm a bit surprised that your officials and that your SPADs haven't given that evidence to you.
Welcome back, Dika.
If you would like more evidence, then I can certainly provide the statistics and
John
the
Allen should provide the evidence of his assertions.
When we have
your responsibility, Secretary of State, not John Allen's.
No,
it's your responsibility to regulate the market. That's what the Agriculture Act of 2020 does. It says that it's your responsibility.
It's not my job under the
So
Act.
it was her job to see that the grocery stores were gouging people on top of the price raises caused by inflation, and she was supposed to do something about it. And she's all like, "Well, I guess, you know, Tesco needs to come up and say something about it. Then I don't know." And he's like, "It's your damn job to regulate these grocery store fucking companies and make our prices fair. It's not his job to come to you."
Set prices. What I've already said
Nobody
to you
said that.
and
It's
the
about
committee,
profits.
It's about said to you.
And she's straw manning, saying it's not my job to set prices, and that's not what this guy is asking for.
I've already said
Nobody
to you
said that.
and
It's
the
about
committee,
profits.
It's about said to you and the committee. We have instigated supply chain reviews. The dairy one, I think, is quite close to conclusion. The pig one is underway, and we're looking at some further sectors. So that's what we are doing. What I'm surprised at, Mr. Gardner, is that you are taking what John Allen, the chairman of a FTSE 100 PLC, says about other companies without any evidence and makes that assertion, and then expects me to investigate his assertion made on the basis of I have no idea.
I didn't ask you. Last time when you appeared before the committee, I gave you the statistics from the independent investigations that had already been conducted. That was the evidence that I gave to you. It was subsequently confirmed by John Allen on the Laura Kuenssberg programme. So please don't make this an issue about John Allen. The statistics are there if you care to look at them.
And I've said to you, and I've said it again today, they make it in a different ways using their brands. And have I looked into the individual account?
Fake fucking, that's what she's saying. Fake news. I haven't looked into what you're talking about. She knows exactly what the fuck he's talking about. Classic obfuscate. Oh, I haven't read it. I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about. She knows exactly what the fuck he's talking about. Because if she hasn't read it, then she can't comment on it.
Accounts of Tesco PLC? No, I haven't.
Are you satisfied? My question was very simple. I said, are you satisfied?
I'm satisfied.
That the profit levels that are being made post-pandemic as compared with pre-pandemic are being incurred without excess profiteering?
Well, as I have said to you, we have instigated supply chain reviews.
Yeah, it's a yes or no
supply
question.
chain reviews, because we are looking at aspects of that. But I have not investigated Tesco PLC's individual accounts.
It's not about Tesco.
Well, it is.
Please, you're just throwing distraction into the committee. Please try and focus on the question that I asked.
Which supermarkets do you believe are making excessive profits?
The top three.
So that includes Tesco?
No, they're not. They weren't the top.
Are they not in the top three?
No, they weren't. Actually.
She hasn't. Maybe she hasn't looked at the data. She's just completely clueless about her fucking job. This is intentional. The right wing do this, right? They say government doesn't work, and then when they get into office, they prove it. Hey, Chad Mary, thank you so much for rating, and thank you for coming back again. Hopefully you had a successful stream. You sleep tight, Chad Mary. Thank you for the view. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hopefully it was a successful stream. But isn't that great? Isn't that fucking great?
No.
Isn't that fucking great? Well, there you go, YouTube. That's my UK update. Not a very thorough one this time, unfortunately, but you know, it like I said before, it's really interesting watching the UK having to deal with American style right-wing politics. And thank you again, Chad Murray. So it's just amazing to me to see the UK having to deal with American-style propaganda, media outlets like Talk TV, very similar to One American News Network or even Fox. Politicians that deny reality, even to the point of absurdity. It does not matter because they have a media apparatus that will create reality for them. They can be Jacob Rees-Mogg can be completely ridiculous and lie through his teeth. That doesn't matter. He'll always have a friendly news outlet, and the people that, you know, want Jacob Rees-Mogg in office will just listen to that news. The same exact phenomenons we're seeing over here in Canada and the United States. It is a template that the right wing are using to weaponize free speech and to weaponize the politics, the actual procedural politics. You know, when they get into office, like we saw with Jim Jordan earlier during the fascist update, they will use their power given to them to put forth a corporatist or authoritarian agenda. So it's just been interesting watching that, and you can bet we'll be covering that more in the future. Thank you so much.